Good morning, everyone. Ooh, that's pretty loud. Thank you all for coming out. I'm Jacqueline Hibbler. I'm the Assistant Principal of School Culture here at Gateway Science Academy, and welcome to our esteemed veterans, speakers, Alderman Matt Devotie, and retired Master Sergeant Matt Hardage, GSA administrators, staff, and students. It is a privilege to serve our veteran guests with music and reflections from our speakers. Please rise as the American flag is posted and remain standing until the conclusion of our national anthem, if you can. Please remain standing as we recite our pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Please be seated. As the anthems of the 6th Armed Forces are played, I'd like to invite our veteran guests to stand and honor their branch if they're able to. Okay. First, we will have the United States Army. United States Marines. The U.S. Navy. The United States Air Force. The United States Coast Guard. The U.S. Space Force. Thank you all, band. That was amazing. Didn't print out too well. Sorry about this. Thank you to our veterans for serving our country in the 6 very important branches of our military. I'd like to introduce you all our speakers who have agreed to share their time with us and reflect on the valuable service of our veterans. I'd like to first invite 5th Ward Alderman Matt Devotie to our stage.
Ms. Hibbler, veterans, students, it is my great honor to appear today and say a couple of words. As Ms. Hibbler said, my name is Matt Devotie, and I'm the 5th Ward Alderman. So Gateway is within our ward, and it's wonderful to have this invite today. You know, when we think in terms of Veterans Day, I think it's apt that we consider how we came to be here. Veterans Day began actually as something called Armistice Day, which came to fruition in the days after World War I. You might remember that the armistice that ended the Great War came about at the 11th hour, the 11th day of the 11th month of 1919, 11/11/11. And that's why we celebrate this day every day on November 11. Over the years, in fact, I believe it was in the 1950s, in the days near and around the Korean War, that we recast Armistice Day, and we renamed it Veterans Day. And the idea behind Veterans Day is that we come about and we take a day to recognize those that have served. Not those that necessarily died for our country, but those that served, whether it be in peacetime or during war. And we thank and we recognize them for our service. So that's how we're here today. I didn't serve. I did not serve our country. I am not a member of one of the branches whose songs, whose themes we just heard. But I always think back on this day to my grandfather. My grandpa was a veteran of the Army Air Force in the days before the Air Force existed, the days when it was a branch of the United States Army in World War II. He was a farm boy from southern Illinois. And in the early days of World War II, he was the oldest of 4 sons. And he enlisted. He was called into the service, and he answered. Growing up on a farm, he had lots of experience hunting and shooting. And when he reported for duty and they started to talk about talents and skills and things he could do, that came into play. And he was assigned into a Sperry ball. Think in terms of the large bombers that you've seen at air shows or at air museums. Those balls that when the planes were in the air and on a bombing run, he would get in it, he would crank himself down, and he would sit at the very back below the ship. His job was to look for enemy fighters, Germans, on the way to and from bombing expeditions. Near the end of his tour, he was shot down, and he spent more than a year as a prisoner of war. You know, interestingly, I knew that my grandpa served. I knew that he was in the Army Air Force, but I didn't know much about the service. Certainly, I didn't know that he was a POW until at least his mid-60s, until I was a teenager. He never talked about it. His service was silent. It was strong, but it wasn't anything that he wore on his sleeve. It was more in the matter of how he carried himself, how he dealt with people, how he volunteered in the community. As we meet here today, I think there's 2 things for us to think about. And the first is that very recognition for those among us today who have served. And we say thank you. I think in terms of my dad, who was a Marine, who yesterday celebrated the he would knock me around if I said the wrong thing, the 250th anniversary of the Marine Corps. That was close. I would have gotten in a lot of trouble. I think back to the story when he joined back in the late 1960s, during the days of the Vietnam War. He enlisted. And in that dinner before he left St. Louis, they've described it, family lore is very somber. It was a recognition of what he was about to do, the task he was about ready to entertain. And there wasn't any celebration. There was just a very quiet, simple recognition of what Dad was about ready to undertake. So today, the first thing, and I guess I'm mostly talking to students here, is think in terms of those veterans you know that you see on the street, those folks that you see proudly wearing caps or hats that reference their service to your grandparents or your parents that are here today. And merely think in terms of thank you. So first off, veterans, thank you. Thank you for your service, for what you have done in many, many cases without fanfare, without a request for recognition, without anybody saying anything to you. You just quietly went about your business for years, whether it was 10 years or 21 years, whether it was during times of war or times of peace. Thank you. And secondly, as we think about, and I guess maybe I'm talking to myself here a bit too, but also to you as you think about your day and what is next for you, is think in terms of how you can serve. Not all of us are going to enter the service, but I think the pertinent question is how can we serve? What can we do? How can we aid our community? The folks here at Gateway set an example all of the time. I can think in terms of the last 6 weeks where the men and women's soccer team went to a local park and just cleaned up, picked up, just helped our community look a little better. I can think in terms of within the last day or two when this crew cleaned up our grounds, and you tended to make your school look just a little better. So think of your talents, think of your skills, think what you enjoy to do, and whether it might be someday entering the service, as one young lady talked about, she was considering going into the Army, or merely what can you do in your neighborhood? Give it a thought. So again, I appreciate the opportunity to talk to you. Coach Salas said to be brief. I'm a politician, I'm a trial lawyer. The last thing you tell a politician or a trial lawyer, somebody who is both, is be brief, because we love talking. But guys, again, thank you very much. Ms. Hibbler.
Thank you, Alderman Devotie, for sharing such important reflections. Those were interesting stories about your grandpa. Next, I'd like to invite Master Sergeant Preston Hardage, trombonist. Is he coming up? Oh, there you go. Come on up, please. Okay. You gonna speak first?
So much. Good morning, everybody. How's everyone doing? Enjoying the breakfast? Yeah, how about a hand for the musicians here that provided some music for us at the beginning? Great job, guys. Thank you so much for having me here to speak on Veterans Day, and thank you, sir, for your grandfather's service. Stories you tell, we all have family at some point maybe that might serve, and my grandfather served, so I definitely look back on his service in World War II fondly. My name is Preston Hardage. I was a Master Sergeant in the Marine Corps for 20 years. I just retired about a year ago. I grew up in St. Louis, went to high school, because that's what everybody knows. Parkway Central High School. I graduated in 1999, so do the math. I had a little bit of a unique experience in the military. As you can see, there's some pictures up here, a uniform that does not fit me anymore, but that's all right. I was a musician in the President's Own United States Marine Band. We were a non-combative unit, but I spent 20 years of my career in Washington, D.C. Our primary mission was to provide music for the White House and the Commandant of the Marine Corps. The Commandant of the Marine Corps is the top general. But before that, you notice I said the president. So we were the band at the White House that was the on-call band. So I often refer to, we were the president's iPhone, if you will, or iPod was what we used to say. So if the president is having a function at the White House, a state dinner, a arrival ceremony for a foreign dignitary, our job was to provide ceremonial music for the dinners, for the ceremonies out on the South Lawn. Part of our other jobs were to provide music at Arlington National Cemetery in Virginia, excuse me. For those that don't know, Arlington National Cemetery is just across the Potomac River in D.C., and that's where we bury a lot of our past military. Those that have served in the past that have seen action, and those that are killed in action currently. So we would play music for those ceremonies for the family members, and I did over 700 in my career, and to this day, that's still the most powerful part of my job. So like I said, I grew up here in St. Louis. I went to college to study trombone at Indiana University. Yeah, proud to say they're doing really well this year. And upon my senior year, don't worry, be happy, that's right. Upon graduating from college, I was trying to find work as a musician, and the Marine Band had an audition. So I flew to Washington, D.C., prepared what I needed to. There were 87 trombone players at my audition, and happy to say all the stars aligned that day, and they offered me a position. I didn't realize that decision was going to change my life. And in 2004, I made a commitment to this country to serve, and in a way that I can serve, and that was to play music. For those that don't know, our Department of Defense is the largest employer of musicians in the world. namely the Army, because they are a large branch all over the world. But there's opportunities to make music past high school, past college, and a great opportunity to serve your country as well. One of the benefits of serving your country in just one enlistment is you get college benefits. So coming out of high school, if that's something that interests you, there are recruiters, I'm sure, that would love to talk to you. But it's a great opportunity to be able to pay for college even too. So like I said, our unit was a little unique. We were a non-combative unit, so I did not deploy overseas. We do a tour every year, though, of parts of the country and parts of the world. Usually in October. This year we did not go because of the shutdown. But I've toured, I played my trombone in 49 of the states. I did not get to go to play in Alaska ever. We played in Japan, and we toured Europe in 2022 as well. So I just want to say to you guys, there is an opportunity to see the world, to continue making music. There are opportunities for wind instruments as well as strings. So there are great ways to make a living, to serve your country, and to be able to get those benefits for college. It's really important. The one thing, like I said earlier, was a big honor was my duty at Arlington National Cemetery. If you haven't seen it, there's lots of white headstones lined up in a row. It's very similar to any military cemetery. But that's hallowed grounds for the military. Like I said earlier, that's where a lot of killed in action and a lot of retired people who have served and seen action are buried in. And it was just an honor to be able to see their family members and to be able to provide this service that our country does for family. That's a very big honor for me to be able to serve that way. A couple of pictures up here because I don't want to take too much time. This is a picture of us at the White House. Like I said, our primary mission was to serve the President of the United States. So we lined up here on the South Lawn. Something about this picture that I can tell you right now, there's Secret Service that we had to have hide behind these chimneys. Right here is a picture of the band. The band was founded in 1798. So it's the oldest professional performing ensemble in the country. This is a picture of us in Sousa Hall. That is where we rehearse and such. John Philip Sousa was known as the March King, wrote Stars and Stripes Forever, things you've heard a billion times. He was our conductor from 1880 to 1892 and really set the Marine Band, on a path of recognition across the world as one of the elite performing ensembles that America has to offer. Over here is a really cool picture I am very proud of. This is a trombone part to the Imperial March from Star Wars, signed by John Williams, the composer. He came and conducted us several times and did a meet and greet, such a generous man with his time. But he sat down and talked with all of us for 5 minutes at least, individually. But I got him to sign my first trombone copy to that, so that's pretty cool. My uniform is over here. As you see, it is red. The Marine Corps, if you notice, they're dressed blues. They wear a dark uniform. The reason the band wears a opposite color is back in the day when battles were fought, the band was used as a way to signal to the troops on the field, since there was drums and fifes, very loud instruments. So the commanders would give the troops commands on the battlefield through the band. So the reason that we wear opposite colors is that engagements of war at the time were that you could not fire upon the band. So that's why our uniform is red and theirs is blue, the rest of the Marine Corps. It's a very traditional uniform that models after what John Philip Sousa kind of made the uniforms for the Marine Band at the time. But yeah, it's been an honor to be here. Thank you so much for having me. I thought I was just going to be speaking to some musicians, which is so cool. I love doing that. It's awesome to see all the veterans here. Can we give all the vets here one last round of applause, please? Again, thank you. It's been an honor just to come here and speak to you a little bit about my time. Like I said, it's unique in the military, but that's something that I think that our military does so amazing. It gives people opportunities to serve our country in the ways that they are gifted. So I think the military is pretty cool. Yeah, thank you so much again for having me. It's been a pleasure being back here in St. Louis for the past year, kind of getting to know the area again. Thank you again, and I hope you guys have a blessed day.
Thank you, Master Sergeant Hardage, for sharing your experiences. Very interesting. Had never heard from a band member before. Okay. Please give another round of applause to both of our speakers. We will now hear a song of sentiment and remember those who gave their lives to protect our country. Very, very nice. We want to thank all of our veteran guests, our guest speakers, GSA administration, staff, and students who joined us today. Thank you to our student helpers with the breakfast, art students, and musicians. We'd like to welcome you back, welcome our veterans back next year. Thank you so much. We can't say it enough. Thank you for your service. You set high standards and are strong examples of citizenship for all generations. Have a special day today. Thank you all.